Nothing that we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Okay, we're back into the scalping session. We had a pullback here, so we had a great scalp in the private live lab. We caught this move up right there. We being me, because you all are not supposed to follow my trades. You're just supposed to use it for, what do you call it? Educational purposes only, right? So, but we got to watch me get this move up. Now price is started to head back down. I exited a little before the stop right here, but I did exit according to my rules, and it did pay off because price did flow back down, and it appears we might be kind of sitting and waiting for a pull down. Okay, so here's the deal. What we want to understand about scalping is that you tend to want to pick 1 or 2 assets, and you stick with those because everything happens so quickly, right? Everything moves so quickly in scalping that you don't necessarily have time to like go back and forth between 10 different Forex pairs or 5 cryptos or whatever your thing is. But what I will say about the euro versus the dollar right now, it's pretty bullish. We do have obviously some pullback here, and how far that pullback is going to go is hard to say. Now, normally, based on what I'm seeing on the screen here, and again, people at Algo Factory understand what I'm looking at right now. Normally, I would take that pullback. I'd actually short that. But the problem is that the 3-hour is so bullish right now that I can really only take longs. So while scalping this, I do have to, I just got to be a little more careful and not try to take those quick shorts. If things were not quite as bullish on the 3-hour, I could maybe take that. Things are starting to turn around a little bit on the 30-minute. So if we get a pop-up and the bearish conditions continue, so we'll go to the 5-minute here. If we do see the 5-minute kind of do a quick little pop-up and we get a chance to short that, I might scalp that down, but I would be pretty cautious on how I handle that. Just because that 3-hour is just still so bullish. Like the euros, it wants to continue up. It is not ready to necessarily do a hard far pullback just yet. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this thing correct right back up and continue to head up. So as far as the scalping continues, as far as scalping goes right now, even on a low time frame, things are a little bit mixed up, meaning that you want your markets to be either bullish or bearish. Now, when you have different time frames conflicting, you have like the 3 hours bullish and the 30 minutes bearish and the 5 minutes, this and that. You need them to line up. And one thing about scalping and trading in general is that you want to make sure that whatever trade you are taking is going to be matching your rules. You want to make sure that you're taking the obvious trades. So we're going to flip over to USD CAD. We're going to see what's happening over here. And we might have an opportunity also to get a pullback trade on this. Because right now, what I'm going to look for on this, on the 5-minute, is for the 5-minute to pop up and maybe do a pullback and I catch a counter trend, right? A little bit of a pullback against this uptrend. Catching the trend up is also possible, but we were a little late for that. And that one happened really quickly. It's a little tough to get into. And just based on what I'm seeing, the one thing about scalping also is the predictability of the trades matters. So right now the pullbacks are just a little bit more predictable. So we're going to continue to watch the euro and the Canadian. You can see my own algo actually called this short right here. My own algo called that one out nicely. So in these scalps, I can somewhat rely on my elbows, on my own algo, this green, red tab. That's all very doable. So, there you have it. Let's go back to just double check on the euro really quick. Okay, euro starting to pull upwards. Let's see if we can even take that trade. Yeah, so we might be able to catch the upward scalp on this, but the conditions are going to have to be real specific on the euro. So I'm going to have the euro on a separate screen, the Canadian on a separate screen. I have a lot of screens. I know I probably have way more screens than I need, to be honest. Screen real estate does not make you a better trader, but when you're scalping and you're tracking numerous trades and assets, it's helpful to have at least 2 screens. I've got like 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 active screens, and some of them are like really big. They can act like 2 screens. Just because I'm a screen junkie, I just get into shit. It's a long story. So yeah, the Canadian scalp is tricky. The USD CAD is tricky. The euro is not quite so tricky. I'm going to take a look at the euro here. I'm just watching this. And I don't want to say exactly what I'm looking for because I don't want to reveal too much of the secrets. As you know, we had that nice scalp this morning with Algo Factory. And when we did that, what was really great about that is they got to see like the whole process, the whole thought process. I mean, I really let them have everything. Algo Factory at this point knows exactly how I'm scalping. That's, it just is what it is. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to spread the link around, see if I can bring in some more watchers here. New. Okay. Copy that. So I have to look around my microphone here. Copy that. Copy this. Copy this. Oh, I didn't even hit enter on that last one. Hit enter. And hit enter. We might bring in a couple more people to watch what's going on here. Okay, so let's see if I can. All right, so yeah, a couple ways this could go on the euro. Just watching it. The euro is developing a bit of a range, right? Not a very terribly clean, but it's a short-term range. So with the right conditions, I can trade that range in the scalp formation, right? So as price approaches the bottom, if the right conditions occur on the algorithms, I can long that. But right now it's shorts. As it stands, the way that I would have to treat this would be to short this range. And it's a very tight range, but that's scalping, right? So if price were to come up to here and the short conditions still apply, I can short the top here and then have my stop to entry as I start to approach the bottom, or even just exit the trade right there. But it might be that we see price pull back a bit and actually give us a nice reset to scalp back up, right? So, we definitely, I don't know how many people here have ever surfed in their life, but when you surf, you got to wait for the right wave. It doesn't have to be a perfect wave, but it has to be a wave that meets your conditions. And this is literally surfing. I mean, there's like not much difference. There's just a little more math. There's not much difference between trading like this and surfing. There really isn't. And as it stands right now, it does look like short is the way. But in order to short, like I just said, I need price to come up. And it is coming up a little bit on the 1 minute. And this is on the euro versus the dollar. I need price to come up like this and then head down. I need a little bit of a move in the opposite direction to give me room for my short to work. I'm going to put the Canadian USD CAD, the loonie, on another chart so I can have access to it. Okay. Now, while we're waiting for conditions to line up, and by the way, if this breaks below here, I can take the short. It's just, I'd rather have it before we start getting into the spiel here. So we got a range. Now, like I said before, there's two conditions on when I would take this. One would be like this, and the conditions have to still algorithmically line up. The other is if I see price head down and then the conditions still line up and we have a bounce off of the structure here, which it had just broken. But as we can see now, it's already heading up. Now, the other thing that might happen is that as it heads up, the algos flip to bullish and I can go ahead and take the long. So we'll keep an eye on this. Now, in the meantime, go ahead, get your free algo, link in the description. Also, we are going to, do some free training. We're going to do like I'm going to do a workshop where not only will I just talk about my scalps, but I'll actually show them. So in these scalp sessions, I'll talk about, hey, I think I'm going to go short here, this and that and the other, but the actual stop loss and take profit and all that stuff, that's going to be relayed only to Algo Factory members in the private live lab. Okay. So, and that's just what it is. And again, it's all for educational purposes, and we're not supposed to, you're not supposed to take my trades and so on. Now, I will do a workshop though, and it's going to be live, and it'll be for 2 or 3 days, and it'll be either later this quarter, which that's like in the next few weeks. So probably early next quarter. I think, no, June is the end. I might do it later this quarter in June, or I might do it early next quarter in July or August, whenever. And I'm going to do it once a quarter, where you'll be able to watch me trade for 2 or 3 days through my entire trading day. And so I will send you the invite for free to that workshop. All you got to do is go right here into the description right there and give us your email. Doesn't even have to be a real first name. You can just call yourself John Jacob Jingleheimer, whatever. I don't care what you call yourself. And we will send you invites. We'll send you weekly updates, market updates, things like that, right? Okay, so now what we have here is kind of a classic, very classic consolidation. Price is going to break upside or downside because those are the only two choices. But whichever way it breaks can tell us a lot about what's going on. And the algos, all the gobbledygook data that you see at the bottom of the screen, are giving us a clue. And it does look as if price may be flipping to the upside once again. So it might be that I can go ahead and let me take a quick look at my rules here. Okay, so I do have to wait a little bit. Let's see, TF2. We're just looking at my trade rules here because I got a separate set of rules for this scalper. Okay, so I am waiting for certain conditions to occur before I can enter this. It might actually flip over to long. And of course, if it does flip to long, then I've got to wait for it to break out above here, right? But we also might get a flip to short. So, again, range trading, it's fine. It's money to be made. But at some point, if I had to guess, this is going to break out to topside. Even if it breaks out downside, it's probably going to come back up and break topside. So, the way to trade it again, like I just said a few minutes ago, is going to be, let me back this into a three panel. The way to trade is going to be like selling the top as long as conditions line up, or looking to buy that bottom as long as conditions line up. And right now, buying the bottom looks a lot more attractive than selling the top. But that's how range trading goes. Range trading is where you get these signals and then it doesn't look good and then it does, and which means that the market is making a decision, right? There's no solid short-term direction, and all you really can do is sell the tops, buy the bottoms. Now the algo you can see is pinging, my little green tabs, right? So in the end, up is the way right now. I can tell you right now, it's probably going to break topside. So the risk would be to go ahead and buy that bottom. That's the risky way. But that's my algo. It's my own proprietary algorithm, right? So, only I have that. And while you're watching, you have that. So let's see. We may just get a flip topside here. I'm seeing it kind of play out in slow motion here. I'm pretty sure it might not break topside, but I think the next bottom might be wise to buy. We're going to see how things end up. We are waiting patiently for things to happen on the 5-minute. And this is scalping, folks. Like, this is not like, in fact, I'm going to add some music. Let's see. No, let's do lo-fi. No, I'm going to have, see, add music. So can I add me? Oh, hey, I can add my own music. Cool. I've got some music that I created. So I might add a playlist. But for now, we'll chill with the lo-fi. Let me know what you think of the volume. Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? So let me know in the comments. In fact, in the comments, since we're kind of in the waiting period, it's a good time to ask questions. And we're also here to ask questions and answer them. So, feel free to do that. As I get into scalping, I might tell you, hey, hold off on the questions, or I might just ignore you. Here to make money. But we're not quite where I can take my trade yet. We're just waiting. Now, there should be some good volatility in the next few hours, right? So we had CPI come out. Just a little review of what happened this morning. Okay, thank you, Lisa. You're wonderful. So sound level is sound level. The data that came out today, the news. Okay, so now can I take this short? No, I can't take the short. The markets are mixed. I can only go longs. I got rules to follow, folks. We're gonna go back to talking about the news a little bit, but before we do that, understand that in trading, you're gonna see trades and then be like, oh, I missed that trade. Yeah, well, when you trade technically, you have rules to follow. And if you don't follow the rules, that's when you get murked. That's when your trades get knocked out. This is going to go up right now. I'm almost positive this is going to break out. I'm going to get ready. Okay, I'm going to buy the breakout here. Yeah, this is a good trade. All right, so stop loss, I'm not going to talk about publicly. Yeah, should have got this earlier. Wow, it's really breaking out. Okay. Okay, so look at my trade station here. All right, I'm about to enter a scalp here. Best thing to do might be to wait for it to come back a little bit to the top of that range, which is coming back now, so I'm waiting patiently. Being patient, letting it come back down a little bit. I'm going to relay the stop loss to the group here. Okay, see how it's coming back down just a hair? Right back down to the top. I think this is going to be a good opportunity. We gotta wait for everything to line up. It looks like we're going to get a little anti-gravity here. We're right on the cusp. Just watching. We move over to the proper screen. Okay. We're right there. This is probably a decent time to enter even now. I'm not entering yet, but it might be. Okay. Almost there. Not quite there. But we're right on the edge. I'm in. Okay, trade's on. Again, the stop loss is known to the Algo Factory members, right? So I'll let them know that anyone's watching knows the trade's live. But I'll just go ahead and make a comment. Okay, so trade is live, trade's in profit. Now I have to continue to watch. I'm going to be pretty aggressive with stops because of the nature of this trade. So I will, as soon as I get, I can't talk too much about this, but I gotta tell my members what I'm doing here, but I can't tell YouTube. Give me a moment. After 1 minute candle. so now we're waiting for the conditions for me to raise the stop to entry. Yeah, bit of a pullback here. Let's see if we can. Might be false breakout. This happens. This is scalping. So usually when you get a breakout of a range like this with the proper conditions, it will defy and it'll head up. It'll defy the gravity, but it might be that there's a move down. Maybe you stop out, maybe you don't. Depends on your stop. Right now it seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. Breakout, come back down to structure, and then pop it back up, right? So at this point, just gonna let it go. I'm gonna use a different screen on a different chart so I can consider targets, but not where everybody can see. Oops. Okay, good. I'm gonna switch to a different chart. Everything looks okay. We're just kind of in a low-level bull flag. And this might take a minute to come up because we're in the second part of a move up. Now, this does tend to be like well, I'll explain this in a minute. Give me a second. Let's go ahead and just, I'm gonna have to do some math here, get my target set, let everybody know what I think is gonna happen. All right, good. We'll come back to you guys in a minute. All right. Okay, so good. Let's do this here. All right, we're getting a pullback here. Still within range, but we might have to take a loss and then re-enter once the false breakout is done. We'll see. It's just part of trading. Let's go. All right. Still hanging on. Still doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, good. I like this target. I have found my target. So when I do scalping, let me tell everybody what the target is here first of all. Man, I think I need to up my prescription. Let me just zoom in. Maybe that's just okay. Much better. Stupid. Give me a second. Same process. Okay, so things going well, price is staying above the range, bullishness kicking in. I'm seeing the conditions I need to see to be comfortable to consider taking off some risk. Okay, so let's see if I can do something else here. I'm gonna do something separate here. I'm gonna download multiple operations here in a second. Everything looking good on the charts. good. Okay. Got that being handled good. Okay, we're almost at a certain point of the trade. We're seeing the pop up, but it's fighting to break the resistance right now. So if I were to just open up this screen and go purely with price action, what you're seeing here is that price does want to break out. So the algos were doing, call it out correct. But price is not wanting to break and close above this prior high. And when it does, that's a good sign that price will continue up. There's false breakouts. Price breaks out, and then something happens in the market, or just things don't go your way. That's one thing about trading. If you follow the same rules every time, right? If you have a methodology that you've created, and in the creation of that methodology you back tested it, which is what we teach at Algo Factory, then you're going to know your trades win 60-70% of the time, whatever it is, right? And scalping is a little bit different, but it is and it's not. So what can happen, usually you'll win more than you lose more often, and your win rate is going to be better than, like, as far as your risk to reward ratio. So, like, let's just say you're risking $100 every trade. On average, you're going to be winning something like, maybe 200 or 150, whatever it is. Your wins are always going to outstrip your losses if you're doing it right, if you make a proper algorithm. Now, there are algorithms where you might risk 100 to make 40, but you win so often that it makes sense. So it all comes down to a certain number called expectancy. But in the end, what's going to happen is you're going to lose trades. You're going to lose a percentage of them. And when you backtest, you're going to know what that percentage is. At least you're going to have an idea. And then as you forward test and live test, you're going to have a tighter idea. And you're not going to be risking a lot of money on the testing. You may not risk money at all on the testing, right? But you're going to have a much better idea of what your expectancy is on that, right? You're going to have a better idea of what your potential wins, potential losses are. And then when you lose a trade, it's like, okay, well, you lose trades. I know I lose 28% of my trades, or whatever your number is, right? Anything above 50% is going to be profitable as long as your risk to reward ratio is better than 1-to-1. And all that talk, all that gobbledygook, that's what this kind of trading, like, pretty much requires. It's that's just how it is in reality, right? So let's see. We're going to make a move here, but it's going to be confined to Algo Factory members. Give me just a second. Let me confirm that is correct. Okay. Okay. I've moved my stop up to a certain level, but that is going to be kept private to the Algo Factory Live Lab members. Okay, so that's not most, that's some. Okay, well, let's just see how things progress. See, as you can see, I've put a line here, and price broke out and made a high. And then price eclipsed that high, and it even closed above it. But I'm waiting for something algorithmic to happen before I actually move my stop to the entry. Right now, I mean, I've moved my stop. I've taken some of the risk off because my rules say that I can. But there's something I'm waiting for on the screen that I don't want to reveal to everybody. That will have me even move my stop up higher. Let's see how this goes. Decent amount of volatility today, though. We're pretty happy with that. Okay, you know what? I do have the capability to move my music around. Give me a second here. That's going to be tough. Okay, we're looking good now. Okay, getting pretty close to the actual target. Not there yet, but we're getting close to target. We're definitely moving in the right direction. So let's go ahead and move to my multi-screen here so I can monitor. I think what we're looking at is a breakout. So and I mean a breakout on a higher time frame, definitely. And this is something that I talked about with Algo Factory, like going back, I think, to Friday or something, where I expected this to happen. Or it might have been yesterday. We've been watching the euro, been watching a potential breakout due to some of the algorithmic factors that I watch. So with that, you know, we're able to take advantage of what's going on, knowing that this breakout may continue. You can take some higher risk trades because of the way the price behaves in these scenarios, right? So I am just waiting for, like I said, a couple of things to put the stop to entry, but this is a nice successful scalp so far. Oh yeah, nice push up. Okay, gonna go ahead and move stop to entry. No, wrong thing here. All right, beautiful trade so far. We're approaching first soft target. This is now a free trade. So what I've done is I put the stop loss to where I entered the trade because I can, because I got rules that tell me when I can do that. So now that the stop is to entry, I can just let this trade run. I haven't put my take profit target because with scalping, you can kind of sometimes get lucky and price like goes way beyond that. But as I approach that target, as price actually touches it, that's when I begin to start to make decisions, right? You know, either that or there's algorithmic things that I may see on the screen that are like, okay, you know, I need to go ahead and cut and run or not, right? So this line up here is not at the target, so not what we're looking at. That's a resistance that if price is heading up, I may want to get up above that, but the target is a different number on a different screen that other people see. So let's see what that line actually is. Yeah, that line is just a high time frame resistance going back to a pivot point back here. Not really high time frame. It's just from like Sunday, but higher time frame. So if this goes beyond my target, then I'll probably be out by here. So that's a beautiful scalp. Can't really ask for like much better than that. So right now you're seeing a little bit of a pullback. So if I were to exit, this might be the time. But the metrics are saying that I can stay in this. It's just going to be a little more risky. So this candle right here is going to tell me what is going on. go to the private live lab. So still showing some resilience here. Yep. Okay, so, but we are starting to see a slowdown. And these slowdowns happen, doesn't mean price is going to reverse. The market is rather bullish on this. Like, if I were just to have to make a decision now to stay or leave, I'd say stay. You know, you can see just based on the algos that price is rather bullish. But remember, nothing goes up forever, and there are pullbacks, and you don't want to get greedy either. So I'm keeping a pretty strict watch. But right now this appears like it'll continue. Let's see. There's a couple things I'm looking at a higher time frame as well. Okay. Let's see here. It's still showing bullish. It's kind of tempting to exit right now, but see, each one of those red candles keeps getting eaten up. So, I mean, look, if you're in profit and you're past a 1-to-1, not a bad idea just to take profit. You can always jump back in later, you know? Okay. That was my notes. Yeah. I am out of this trade. Might still go up, but I'm out of the trade. Nice little win. Nice little morning scalp. Now this could turn around and head back up, but I got enough data for me to say, okay, it's time to exit. And as this move continues up, the more risky it is. So let's see how I did. Okay. And right about here. Stop loss was down about here. And I exited here. Okay, this is about a 1-to-1. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it's probably going to continue up, but the risk factor was too much. Now, because it was a free trade, I could have just like let it go. But sometimes, like, I don't know, there are different philosophies. And the algos are telling me that it's better to exit and jump back in later, right? Because I can always jump right back in later. It's not a problem. But this is a little over a 1-to-1 if you include, you know, spread and stop loss and everything. And this is the trade. This was it right here. So it probably is going to like pull back, either just head back up and piss me off, but I won't be pissed because, you know, I follow rules, or it's going to come back down a bit and then head back up to wherever that original target was. And if it does that, I'll just take another scalp. It's the beauty of scalping. Just take another trade if it happened. But the rules are not met this time. Even if it starts heading back up on the screen, I need rules to head back up. And if I'm following my rules on scalps and I ended up with an inverted risk to reward, I'm fine with that. That's scalping, man. You follow the rules. So we might be getting our second wind right here. Yep, it's happening. So I could have stayed in and still make money. I could even re-enter right now. But I need some conditions to line up first. And this is becoming a lot more risky than it used to be. So I'm not going to do it. You know, I need a stronger pullback. This is like, I could have taken half the position and rode the rest. But what you'll find is that even though you get these little pop-ups like you're seeing right now, this might be like coming back down, right? So you just follow your rules and you don't worry about what happened in the past, right? Just follow the rules. Everything else is pixie dust. It's all fake. So 2 scalp wins today. This is trading on the 1 minute, right? I call most people crackheads who do this, but because they don't know what they're doing. And they just, you know, don't have anything that works. But people have seen me win 2 trades on this today. Algo Factory saw me do it in the private live lab. They saw me do it live. And you all just saw me do it live right now. And the fucking receipts are out there. You know, excuse my language. It's right there on YouTube. You know, you saw when I entered. You saw when I exited. And then I revealed the stop loss to you all later. Because I can't, you know, can't give it all away for free. But we do this also in the private live lab. And in the private live lab, I actually, as you know, I'm telling them where my stuff is. You're not supposed to follow these trades, you know. These are just for educational purposes. You're not supposed to copy my trades. But I am telling all the data inside the Algo Factory Live Lab. The stop losses, the targets, all that stuff. So they get it. If you want to get it, just go ahead and give us your info there, right? And you can do that. Just simply go to algofactory.tech. You can sign up over there. But if you click that link, what that's going to do is you get a free algo, you get the workshop dates, you get all that stuff. And the workshop is like a taste of what I do, live trading. You know, it's a taste of what Algo Factory gets, right? So we give a free taste once a quarter. At least that's the plan. We haven't done it yet. It's a new thing. We're going to do it. If there's time before June's up, it'll be this quarter. And if and there's time, meaning that if I have time, so I got a lot of stuff going on. Doing this scalping, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours a day, that takes a lot of time. But that's, you know, how you pay the bills, or at least it's how I pay the bills, right? So what I'd like to do is to impart my knowledge on others, and in exchange receive a bit of money. And then I don't have to sit in front of the computer for, you know, this many hours a day. The one thing about trading is that people have this idea like, oh, I can just sit at home and make money. And that is true if you're successful. But the reality is that takes time to even get to the point where you can do that, because you have to actually build your method. And I'm not going to give you my method. I mean, you can watch me do my thing for sure. That's the idea, is to watch me do my thing. But I'm not going to just give it away, right? You know, you're going to have to build your own. And the reason is not because I'm stingy, but yes, I'm not going to just give you what I did for free. You're not going to just get my stuff for free. This is not how the world works. You have to earn it. But besides that, you need to build your own algo, because it's a trading psychology thing, right? It's the big secret to trading as we're waiting for this trade to reset, because we're probably going to end up getting another trade out of this, by the way. So I'm going to talk a little bit about trading and what goes on. You see how it's headed down, right? So I took just to like illustrate here why my stuff works, or at least that it works. Price came to a certain point, and that point was right here, right there. That's where I got out. Now, price appeared to continue up, but you see now it's getting rejected downside. And I told you it's probably going to get rejected downside. But that little pop up right there got a lot of people to try to get in. And a lot of people watching were like, damn it, I could have gotten that. But then it head back down. So when you build an algo, it tells you that these things are going to happen, or at least it gives you a probability that these things are going to happen, right? And you want to build your own, because trading is very, very personal. And what I mean by that is that how you trade has to do with your personality. I was talking to a buddy of mine who he actually runs a decent sized fund, and he knows his stuff when it comes to like offshore drilling, and like this guy's been on some, this guy knows his stuff. A smart dude, young dude too. This guy's gonna freaking have years of just killing it. And I meet up with him every so often. We're probably gonna meet up, have cigars next week. And so he's still building though. Like when you're managing other people's money, like it's not like you just get rich. Now he has some bets that are probably going to pay off and make him rich. I know those bets, and they're really good bets. But the reality is that when you're like in your mid-20s and you just started, it's not like your AUM is going to make you rich. But anybody who can pay the bills managing other people's money and running a Substack, fuck, dude, the guy's killing it, right? So I was like, hey, bro, you can make a little extra money day trading. I mean, you're already in markets. This might be a way that you can boost your income. And he goes, it's not my personality, man. And I thought about that, and I know all about that. And what he's saying is that in and out of trades within a short period of time, not for his personality. Now, this whole personality concept, and that dude's smart, man. Like, he's at least as smart as me, if not smarter. Like, this guy is just an animal. But what you have to understand about trading is that your algo needs to have your own personality imbued upon it. And the reason that this is the case is because if I just gave you my algo, ins and outs of it, all the details, which I kind of do with Algo Factory. I mean, I kind of gave them all the secrets today. Not all, but I gave a lot of my secrets away in today's like live lab today. And when you do that, somebody else is going to be trading not based on their own personality, but on an algorithm that was built based on my personality. And not only is that the case, but they haven't tested it. They haven't gone back. You didn't build that. They didn't build it. I built it. So all of the trading psychology that goes into play that works out with Algo Factory is because you've built your own methodology, right? And that's bigger than anybody knows. When you've built it yourself, you've tested it yourself, you spent the days, the hours, the months actually testing it, running it, from personal experience how good it's going to be, right? Okay, we might have our next trade forming up. This is going to be a high risk trade. I don't like this next trade that's forming up. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to call it out. I'm not going to take this trade though. But let me, I need to upload today's live lab. Give me just a second. Live labs. Okay, go to documents, Algo Factory. We had such a killer live lab today just based on the scalping. The next trade is like in pretty much almost on. I mean, it's takeable now. One could try to scalp this to the upside. I'm not going to do it, but one could. So if you're like the risky type or you don't care or whatever, like not a bad time to enter. Everything in my rules say that I can enter this trade like right now. So I'm not going to do it because it's a high risk trade, but it's probably going to head up to my original target, which is not on the screen. But it's really close to the original target. There's not enough meat on the bone for me to take this trade, actually. So that's another reason why I'm not taking it. All right, so we're not going to worry about it right now. Images. I think it's this one, that one. Okay. There he goes. All right. So I just, the reset that we're looking for on this trade is going to take probably 30 minutes to an hour. So unless some comes up with the USD CAD or another pair, we might be kind of waiting for the next scalp. And that's how it is. This is sitting here trading, scalping, like there's a lot of not doing anything. There's a lot of, and I'm scalping on the 1 minute. And I got guys who they're like trading. I know one dude, he trades the the NASDAQ, and he's on, you can trade the NASDAQ and take these little tiny moves, especially when you got the right algos. Like that's doable. I have too many things going on to just like zero like that. That for me is a bit much. And I'm sitting here as you watch me trading on the 1 minute time frame. I'm scalping deeper than most degens scalp. But I got dudes they're on the 1 minute technically, but they're taking every single like strong move. Like they got this move, they got that move, they got this move. I got guys like that. So I'm not like, I'm on the extreme, but these other guys are major on the extreme, and they would take this move. They would be in this trade right now. And like I just said, it's probably going to go up. But it's getting riskier and riskier. So what I want to see is I want to see a pullback that looks like this before I even enter another trade. I want to see a pullback. It's probably going to go like this, and then like this, and then like that. Might not even last that long down at the bottom here, but I want to see that. Now, as that happens, what we might see is that the higher time frame is no longer bullish, and then we actually have an opportunity to short. But that's all going to be like based on the algos. The algos are going to tell me what I need to know. In the meantime, the live lab is uploading for everybody. So we got to let it upload. All right. Well, that's a pretty small audience. I had like a couple hundred people watching today, probably because they're looking at CPI and wanting to see the news. So I probably should have put CPI on there just to clickbait people in. But definitely, doing this scalping like this, I really expect this crowd to grow. I really recommend that. I might have to work on my titles and stuff on YouTube to get the crowd to grow. But share this around. I actually have an affiliate program. I'm going to get some things worked on today. So what we're doing here is invaluable. Like, I'm literally sharing. I shared 2 winning scalps today with the Algo Factory members. They literally watched me take the trade, right? Shared with them shared them with them the details. I shared with them the targets and the stop losses. And now they're not supposed to take the trades. It's not for that. It's educational purposes only. But you know what? If you're with the Algo Factory and you're watching, and your data happens to match my data, then you can take whatever trade you want. You just have to have your own data, right? So this is going to happen most days. Mondays, they don't work out that well. I've been talking with the guys about this and the gals in Algo Factory, mostly guys. And the trick is Mondays suck, right? Mondays tend to be high risk trades because you got market open, and a lot of money has just been on the sidelines, and there's been news that happened over the weekend, and all that news, kind of combines to crash the market open, crush it or crash it, crush it up or crash it down. And so your trades are very directional. And then this Monday sucked in particular because we had CPI today. So halfway through yesterday, the market just kind of died. And so there weren't really any opportunities to, grab like the pullbacks and stuff like that, right? So that said, a day like today, though, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like especially after PPI and CPI bring in volatility, right? You'll have some opportunities. So we're going to be doing this. This scalping business is going to be going on. So, I imagine it's going to gain some popularity. But if you want to know like the stop losses and the targets and all that stuff as it's happening, just join Algo Factory and you'll see it. And you'll learn how to build your own and scalp on your own, and then you don't have to sit here and, like actively learn. You just have your own methodology, and, it depends on, you don't have to scalp either. You can trade on a higher time frame. Like I got guys that are 9-to-5ers, and, they swing trade. So they spend about 3 hours a week trading. They study on Sunday so they can see what trades are going to happen. And then what they do is they look at the market for about 15 minutes in the early morning on mostly Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They'll check on Monday, Monday and Friday, because trades form when they form. And as long as their conditions are met, they'll set their trade standard automatically. They'll just be like, I want my entry here, and the market either comes to that entry or not. And then they set it to exit automatically. So they're spending about 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening to check, set trades, manage trades. And then that's it. So an hour on Sunday to kind of plan out their trades. Because those trades, when you're swing trading, when you're trading in a higher time frame, when you have a 9 to 5, those trades take like days to form up. So it's not like you have to rush in and enter, rush in and exit. You can see like, okay, this trade's going to happen in 4 hours. And then they set an automatic situation where it's going to enter where they say, and it's going to exit where they say, whether they win or lose, right? So they can like go to work. They can literally trade and then let everything happen while they're at work. You don't have to sit here in front of the computer glued all day long and scalp. The swing trading has been affected by news lately, but you know what? It's kind of a double-edged sword because the news also has been like the news cycle has been adding volatility as well. So actually, it's been helping. So even though like you're in a trade and the news hits, you're kind of 50-50 whether it's going to help you win or help you lose, right? But then all that volatility creates a new setup within like a relatively short amount of time. So it's a double-edged sword where you might win, you might lose, kind of a 50-50, but then more trades are coming because of that news and volatility. So swing traders are still doing fine. They just have to understand that they might have to take a hit here and there. But you know what? That's how it is any time you're trading. Just with scalping, you can be kind of in and out and not quite have to worry so much about such things. It's like, I mean, this little scalp is, you know, I didn't take it, but like I told you, it was going to go up and it's now going up. You had kind of the same thing as last time. This is pretty typical formation where you have a short-term consolidation. This is like less than 10 minutes. Price breaks above, comes real quick back down to test, and then pops up. That's actually what the ICT, inner circle trading, is based on. Now, the ICT is fine, but it's just the same stuff that we've been doing for years under a different name. That's all. You know, I know people who's like, oh, I'm going to go do ICT. That's fine. You know, ICT is just trading. They just give it a label and make it sound fancy. That's a specific kind of trading. But yeah, this scalp's working out. I mean, I didn't take it. It's just a low probability setup for me. I need a pullback, you know? Well, the market is very bullish right now. The CPI is affecting things. It wasn't strong. It wasn't a very weak CPI, meaning like the magnitude of the CPI's weakness wasn't very strong, meaning it wasn't that far below expectations. So it was on the year over year enough. See, look, there it goes. You know, could have taken the scalp. Like I said, I called it out, but at this point, you're starting to get where it's, like I said before, it's just too high risk. So we're seeing a breakout, and like I said before, it's probably going to have these breakouts. But in the end, I'm not going to be interested until it pulls back. Like, I'm not a crackhead scalper that needs to take every damn trade. What I may do in the future is these higher risk ones, I might still take them just with less capital. So the low risk ones, I might add more capital. High risk ones, smaller capital. But I mean, you see how it's struggling. Every move up gets knocked down, but I think it's still could head up. So let me take a brief look at the USD CAD because our reset's going to take a while on the euro. Okay, so USD CAD. Okay, so let me bust this out to 4 panels. Expand this over. It's a very similar issue on USD CAD. It's like good to trade, but the kind of reset I'm comfortable with is taking a little bit of time to happen. So this is like almost the same thing as the euro, so I might as well stick to the euro. The Swissy is going to be like very similar. A lot of the market is running on what the dollar's doing right now. So although I might be a little more comfortable, maybe a little more comfortable scalping this if I can get a reset. But I need a reset on everything is kind of in the same boat right now. Aussie, nice pop up on the Aussie. Okay, so Aussie finally resumed its bullishness. Still need a reset on the Aussie, but this would have been a great scalp to take. Yeah. But again, when I'm scalping, if I go and I try to look at what's happening on some other currency, like in the 5 minutes that I go to look, I already missed another trade. So, scalping, you got to be like iron constitution. You just got to be patient, watching, glued to the comp, glued to the computer, and ready to take the trades as they come. And I can almost guarantee you that whatever trade is going to happen next is not going to happen for... what time zone does it think I'm in? Let's fix this. I don't know why this isn't... Why does it... Oh, I know why. Okay, I see what's going on. We're good to go. It's like... Okay, let's go to here. Let's apply to all. That's why. Okay. Fixed. So the next trade that I'm comfortable with probably is not going to occur until after like 10 o'clock. Right? So... maybe now is like a decent time where if people have questions and they want to see like other charts and stuff, I can move this Euro chart to a different screen and we can start to answer Algo Factory member questions on like what they think their crypto is going to do or whatever they want to know. So AF members, go ahead and ask questions if you have them. Ask them in the YouTube chat if you can. And if you want to see what's going to happen with whatever coin or whatever you care about, we can answer that. And I'll keep an eye on the euro because I think the euro is going to continue to give us some play today. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to see that reset. I think we're going to have another scalp in the next 30 minutes. I got 12 people watching, so it's not a huge crowd by any means, but I'm sure that if you ask a question about, hey, what is Filecoin going to do or whatever, I'm sure somebody wants to see it. I don't really give a rat's ass what it's going to do, but I think owning Filecoin is a good idea, personally. I'm not giving any recommendations here, though. But trading such things is kind of meh. No questions yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter out to a higher panel deal. And we're just going to start looking at, okay, can I map out a swing trade on gold? Sure. Okay. We got Be Good. Be Good, do me a favor. I may not see your questions in here, so do me a favor, go to YouTube and ask your questions because I might not see them in the AF chat. But I did see this one. So gold swing trade. Ask your questions wherever you want. Just understand that I might not see it in the chat right now. Okay. I think gold is going to follow the path that I more or less mapped out. The problem with gold is the volatility is dropping off. And the volatility is dropping off, in my opinion, because let's talk about the past, and then we'll come back to the present. So with gold, what you have, and I kind of mapped this out earlier, but understand. I got you, Be Good. Yeah, no problem then. I'll try to keep an eye in the live lab too. I'm not trying to like deny you. I'm just letting you know that it's hard to watch so many screens and see all the questions. It's easier to keep it in one screen, but that's fine. So we had a massive move up. We know that, and the big move up in gold is kind of wearing out. So it's probably going to want to come back down to 28, right? It's probably what's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be a straight down move. This gold's very popular right now. So gold at the current time, if I were to go to a lower time frame, you can see that it's actually at a current support. So this, let me delete these really quick, just avoid confusion. Obviously it's following whatever prediction I made before, and that's fine. I'm going to just get rid of that and get rid of everything. All right. So it's at a support. It's already bounced off that support. Okay, so things are like bearish right now in the midterm. So you have a couple choices. Now this is a 3-hour chart. So, I mean, bouncing off this was a swing trade. You know, this could have been a long. It would have been a week-long, like WEAK. And the reason is that things are bearish in the high time frame. So what you can do is consider, now there are some ways to do this, but I think we're getting there. I think we're almost ready for what I'm about to see here. And I think it might be that, and again, I wouldn't take this trade until the algorithm's like lined up, right? So I'm like, as I draw this, understand that the algorithm has to line up. But I think you're going to get kind of a grind up to about 32.65. Now, what happens here is going to determine whether or not the swing trade's worth taking. But you might see the swing trade break down nicely to right here. So as long as the algos line up, you might get yourself like a slow grind up to about 32.66. And then you might get like a short right here. And of course, you know, I'd front run these targets, and you know how I do things, stop loss, all that stuff. So, but this might be like a nice swing trade, because you know that might take this long, and then you're going out to like next week. So that's a possible swing trade. Now the extension here is that what we're looking at, everything is like bearish on the higher time frame. So if you look at what's happened so far, you're getting move down, bear flag up, move down, bear flag up, move down, bear flag up, move down, bigger bear flag up. So if that downtrend continues, then you're going to have an opportunity to go a little bit deeper. Now you're going below a double support, right? So I personally wouldn't try to bet below that, but if that trend continues, then you have a higher time frame, a bit of a swing, or even, yeah, I would call it a swing. Algos have to line up, but now you're in a scenario where you can trade down a little bit deeper. And if that trend continues, then you could look for a, let me low time frame this. Yeah, if you can take this trade, that's great. It's a beautiful trade. If it does, that's like a 4-to-1. Maybe like it'll end up being a 3.5-to-1 because you have other considerations. But then you can enter a trade where you go short, like maybe, well, let's map out what the price action might do, right? So you might see something like this, whatever, right? And then it goes down, and you might get a pullback to grab liquidity up here, and then you have a move down, right? Now the move down can take many shapes and forms, but in the end, it's probably going to go to around 20, like around 3,000 psychological level. So you could effectively take a trade right here. It's a little higher risk because there is this old support right there, so it might grab liquidity and bounce back up on you. So you could possibly map out a move like this, right? And then as price touches this area, it's going to be better than a 1-to-1. It's going to be like a 1.1. Let's see what it would actually be. If in fact you use that stop loss, you know, I don't want to get too deep, but you could either stop to entry right there or take profit, or just be risky and let it run. And it all depends what the algos say. But then you might have a move here. In here is going to be risky, but you might still have a move. And then once you get down below here, you can just take bites out of this all the way down. And there'll be swings. You can treat it as one big swing, or you can take a couple swings all the way down. It'll also be a great time to be scalping, because the gold volatility is going to be strong to the downside. So there's an opportunity right there for you. I hope that answers your question. Be good. Let me know if you're happy with that. Still watching that. Still watching the euro. Seeing it's plowing up. It's, you know, it's definitely wanting to. What we're seeing is a breakout on the euro. So let's roll back to the euro really quick. So the euro is in a situation where it was in a deep move down. Now it's coming back up, right? So, but it's so close to where the prior bounces were that it's just getting so dangerous to trade in that area. And look, if like I said, I called out the move. I called out the scalp before it happened, right? So if you look at what I said was going to happen, it was like, okay, this might be a good time to take a scalp. And surely it's run up, right? It's done great. It's stayed above any of the stop losses I would have chosen. You know, but it was high risk. And at some point, this is going to start coming down. And I can see it. The volatility is dropping off on the move up. It's eventually going to make its way down. But it's in a strong breakout right now. So I'm fine. I'll wait 2-3 hours. I mean, it'll probably be so long that we're no longer in this like video and I've moved on with my day. I know Governor Bailey is speaking. Let's take a quick look at the news. Tuesday, Bailey at 36 minutes ago. So there's no news until like the Aussie. And there's no real news on Wednesday to speak of. So the rest of the day is going to ride out on the whatever volatility is brought up by CPI, and then whatever technical market unfolds as a result of that. Tomorrow, nothing. Thursday is going to be USD PPI. You get some overnight news, British GDP, but if you're trading the New York session like I am, it's a lot of news in the morning, right? You got 6:30 data, 6:40 Powell speaks. What's Powell talking about? He's probably going to be at a conference. Second Thompson Research Conference. Okay, so tomorrow morning is probably going to be unwise to take trades before like 7 o'clock, you know, unless you're trading like the crossover like I do and starting at flipping 4 a.m. But I might be on, and on days when there's not news that's, you know, like super early news like that, there's a good chance that I will come on and do scalping starting very early in like for hours. But on Tuesday through Thursday, I'm going to break off, and then I'm going to go over to the private live lab. And then, you know, V the Gorilla, like he's back. V the Gorilla gave us some great info this morning. Speaking of which, I think that video is done uploading. Yeah, it is. So we make sure that the right thumbnail. Yeah, we V the Gorilla had some personal matters to handle. He got a gorilla hair transplant. So I donated some of my Italian chest hair, and so he now has fully transitioned to gorilla. So he is a, you know, his pronoun is ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. So he's finally back from all that. And he had to get an extra big keyboard. Big old gorilla fingers can type on it. But he's back. He had a great bit of data. I really should call it like a live lab drips this morning, but I'm not gonna. But he gave a good info drip. He talked about what's going to happen with like stocks and gold and stuff in the next week or two. So, and he's almost always correct. Like the way I say about Gorilla, and I've been working with V since 2017, and I've been following him since before that. And I will say that V the Gorilla is at least 80% correct, at least 80% of the time. So what I mean by that is, like, the numbers he calls out are at least 80% correct, if not dead nuts on. And that happens at least 80% of the time. So this guy is an animal. He knows the stuff when it comes to the macro. So he came in and gave us some real fine little mini drip data here today. We call drips because V the Gorilla does major deals. He does major gold and crypto deals. He has companies all set up, and it's all, you know, all compliant stuff. If you're trying to buy or sell lots of crypto or gold, let us know. Yeah, I can refer you over there, and you know, V can take care of you, and he'll do it in a way that will allow you to maintain a certain level of privacy. We still got a KYC and stuff. You know, we got to make sure you're not, you know, Al Qaeda or whatever. We got to follow those rules. But in the end, it's as private as can be, and it's a good idea. So that said, the reason I mentioned all of that, just besides the sales pitch of, hey, come buy your crypto, sell your crypto. Besides that, because I don't want to say the amount he did last year, but the people he deals with are high level. I mean, like, adjacent to cabinet ministers. And, you know, this guy knows what's going on from a high level, and he's part of a network of guys who really know what's going on at a pretty high level. And so he comes in, usually it's about once a week. Again, he's been gone for like a month or two. He's been out on personal business. But, you know, when he resurfaces, he's able to come in and give us information that's usually pretty accurate. And you know, of course, when you give a forecast, a lot of times forecasts will change. And so we update on that as well. Nothing is solid in markets. News comes out, things change. Trump says something, the markets go haywire. But we give it to you as up to date as it can be. So algofactory.tech, here it is. Go like that, right? Get the free algo, link in description. Get, you know, you can also come on in for like free training, stuff like that. You know, like I said, all that stuff. So like today, I think I don't know if we're starting to see the pullback in the euro. It does look like it's happening now. and it's going to be pretty shallow, I think. So we might be coming up on the beginning of the end of the move up here, right? You might get let me 4 panel this really quick and then stretch it out. Yeah, okay, let me 3 panel this. So everything's bullish above like what you see on the screen here on the euro. Everything's bullish above this time frames. So we just got to watch these time frames. We're starting to get to a point where it might be almost time to look for shorts. The algos are going to tell us that as that happens. But what I'm expecting is going to be a pullback and then an opportunity to go up. And that pullback would make me pretty confident if it could pull back to like anywhere from here to there, looking on the middle screen here. So anywhere from here to there, I would be happy to start looking for like longs, right? But the algos are gonna have to tell me whether or not that's good, right? All the data that I use to take trades, you're gonna have to tell me whether or not I can take that trade. And we're just not there right now. Certainly not anywhere near being able to take trades. We're now in like approaching a mixed market. We are actually in a mixed market on the right time frames. So now we get to kind of hang out. Yeah, I might even like leave the screen for a bit, just for a short time to wait for this reset to happen. And that's how this is. That's, what do you call it? That's scalping. I've been thinking about doing like one of those, account from, $10 to $1,000. I might do something like that. That might be fun. Start an account with like $10 on it, and then take it to $1,000 or so maybe 100 to 1,000. Because 10 to 1,000, you're really risking. You're actually risk to reward ratios are pretty nasty. Your money management's outside of what I'm remotely comfortable with. But for 100 to 1,000 times 10 an account, I'd be doing pretty like it wouldn't be 2% money management, but $100 is money that I can afford to just simply lose. So I may end up doing that, like maybe like 10% trade, and then the next, if every time I win it, I increase the percentage, and I don't know, we'll see. It's like looking for fun stuff, people to watch me doing. All right, so we do have some time. And again, I'm starting to run low on time. I may end the scalp session here because it's just like, I don't know if I want to sit here for another hour waiting for the thing to form up. What I probably will do if I end the show, then if I do run the scalp, I'll probably just run it in the private live lab. I might start up again. I might start another YouTube live scalping session. I might do that. We'll see. It's not that hard to do. Gotta check. Okay. Check the message here. Just check its messages. Yeah, you can see so the euro is kind of fighting to continue up, and I already knew it was going to start doing this. I knew that because I kept saying it. It could crook and head back up. It really could just all of a sudden launch because of where the rest of the market is. But I can't take that trade. I need a reset. So we're just waiting on that. And it may not happen. If it just keeps powering up, then I'm just going to say that's enough for now. Come back later. But if you're watching, now is a good time for questions. If y'all have questions, just ask them. You know, this like scalping business for the Algo Factory and all that, that was really very much, I was changing some formats. So Mondays and Fridays suck ass for trading. Like you get every third Monday or Friday is good for trading. But the problem is that they're not mostly. And my numbers are profitable, but there comes a time when you're just wasting time because you're back and forth winning, losing. So, so I cut Mondays and Fridays out. I cut Mondays out a while ago. Fridays I cut out last week. But I also needed to trade more because like kind of focusing on answering a lot of questions in Algo Factory, you take time away from trading, right? So this is why I've kind of moved over to scalping. But I'm like, well, if I'm going to trade actively, then Algo Factory gets to see it. Now I can do that and show YouTube, but again, Algo Factory gets to see the details, right? So while I was kind of, I mean, really cutting out Fridays was not removing value because Fridays sucked anyway. I was actually probably doing everybody a favors and not wasting their freaking time on Fridays. But, you know, like that being said, some might perceive that as like, oh, I'm losing value. So, okay, fine. I need to trade more anyway. So let's just like videotape me trading, right? So my algo keeps pinging like it wants to continue up. See the green tab? Now the thing about this, based on what I'm seeing in the end, this can actually act as what Elder would call a Baskerville's signal. What does that even mean? Well, if you're like me and you are a nerd, or at least have some nerd to you, you might have read or watched some old Sherlock Holmes. And one of the original ones that they made a movie out of is called The Hound of the Baskervilles. And so somebody was murdered, and the clue that they had that the murder was actually kind of an inside job was that the dog didn't bark. So someone came onto they were claiming that somebody, a stranger, came onto the property and murdered so-and-so. But one thing that Sherlock Holmes figured out was, why didn't the dog alert anybody? Why didn't the dog bark? Well, it's because no one came onto the property to do it. It's because the person who did it was someone who lived on the property and someone with whom the dog was familiar. So you get an opposite signal. If the dog was barking, that means that the murderer was off the property. But if the dog didn't bark, it means that the murderer was someone who lived there. So the bark is going to be a one or the other. It's a mutually exclusive signal. Well, this is what happens with some of your algos, where if you're at a point where price wants to turn around, but you get a signal such as this one here, and it stays on, right? It's going to be one or the other. It means that there's a lot of energy going up, but if the energy going down is strong, if the bears are strong, but the bulls are kind of doing a last gasp, it can really make the bulls very tired and it'll go down very hard, right? So anytime you are seeing this, whichever way it breaks out of this consolidation right there is probably going to be whichever way it's going to go. Now, unfortunately, for the moment, even if the move is down, I cannot take the short because my algo does not allow me to do so. Right? We know that the 3 hour is very bullish. We can see that the 30 minutes is very bullish. So it might just be that we need to see, like I said, minimally a pullback to here before I can take a trade. And that's going to take some time. It's going to take a little time. Trading is not for anybody besides the patient. Right? The patient are the ones who win in trading. So you're seeing what it is to scalp. You're seeing what it is to sit in front of the computer. Do you have a sort of fortitude to do that? Right? Do you have the capability to just sit and watch this stuff for hours at a time? Well, if not, it's okay. You can still trade. You just swing trade. That way you're just picking higher time frame trades. You get like a trade a day, a trade or two a week, right? Special curry cooking. I make curry, Lisa. I actually make a dish called Pollock Pioneer. Although I don't put the cheese in it. I don't feel like dealing with like curdling the cheese. I just make it without the cheese. And some people put tofu in it. I don't eat tofu because it's soy. But either way, you know, I make the curry itself and it's good. I haven't made it in a long time. Stinks up the house. I did buy some burners, I believe, for outside though. So I may actually take those burners outside and start. We're finally here now in the warmer season. Just take a look at the weather here while we're waiting for this business. Okay. Not for today, but the next few days. Let's get a little rain coming today. I mean, I can still cook. I have a patio where I have overhang. I can actually cook in the rain. I may very well. I can. But under any circumstance, like tomorrow, the next day, I may choose to go out and grill some meat. See about that. It's a great thing about business ownership. Like, I mean, yeah, as a business owner, which trading, if you're just a trader, you're still owning a business, by the way. You need to understand that. Okay, another high risk scalp coming up. Okay, so it hasn't occurred just yet. And when it happens, I can't take it, but we might see price peak up a little bit. So if you are just a degen, then this right here is probably going to break out to the upside. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I'd be real careful. There's not a lot of meat on the bone, but there's a decent chance that right now price is going to break out to the upside. But I'm not greedy. I take the high probability chances, right? But see, watch as I say things are going to break out to the upside, and then what do things do? Break out to the upside. Right? I know my shit. Simple as that. I do this a long time. Look at this. Here it goes. You know, after enough of these like scalping sessions, I may elect to start taking these with small amounts of money. I may do that. We'll see about it. You know, but this same thing looked like it was going to happen here and there, right? But we didn't get this signal. We didn't get my algo pinging. We didn't get that or this on these other opportunities. Because the same thing looked like it was going to happen there, and it kind of did. Looked like it was going to happen there, and it kind of did. But you didn't get like a real strong move up. And I would have had to exit pretty quick. I mean, that's scalping, you know. It is scalping. You can pull a little money out. But you see already how it's getting rejected. Yeah. I would rather take the high probability and not sit there spending fees. Of course, where I trade, I don't have to pay fees. What's that all about? Look in the description to find out. For Forex. I'm still watching. Pretty sure that pullback's like about to come right now. It's just not now, but anytime. Remember, I didn't think we were going to see this until like another 20 minutes. Well, from now, like, you know, 10 minutes to an hour. It's probably going to see another move up. And that's if it is a move up. It might be that this move up is already like getting tired. That's a strong move up. You look in the half hour. Pretty strong move up. We're very near where the prior liquidity is. And as price approaches this, you're not going to find a lot of liquidity up here. Like from here to here, basically, price is not going to want to go past that. And it really isn't going to want to go past like here. I mean, you're approaching an area where price really just doesn't want to go past. Okay, what's this all about? So That said, I mean, it could pop up, but each pop-up is more and more risky. So just gotta let the algos play out. Sure, it pops up. Who the fuck cares? One thing to watch is there is a bit of a price action clue. The price is going to head up, kind of. You're getting just these higher highs and higher lows. You get a higher low here, you might see your little pop-up right there. See a little clue for the degens. I'm not a degen, sir. I'm kind of a degen. Most of your like traders would think I'm a degen for trading the 1 minute. It's actually true, but I'm more mechanical than that. Okay, here we go. Fix the code on this. I don't want to fix the code while you can see though. These original were exits. You might be able to see it on screen or not, where the blue writing is. It might be hard to see, but it actually says mini short. I changed that because I was starting to play that, but in reality, those are actually exits for longs, long exit. So I might have to recode that back to where it's supposed to be. We're right on the edge here of heading back up. It's honestly probably going to head back up, but it can't do it too many times. Eventually, it's just going to come down. But I've already squeezed what I care to squeeze out of the longs here, so. Jesus, man. All right. Yeah, so we got the pop-up, just like I thought it would. It's, pretty much called that out, and that's fine. If I keep doing these scalp sessions and I'm seeing like a strong pattern like that, I may elect to take those trades. Like this would be the trade that I take based on what I'm seeing in the algos, as compared to the other ones. Like there is precedent for me to take this trade, but for now, I'm not gonna. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just get truncated, knocked right back down. Got 8 people watching. Go ahead and just give me a thumbs up or something in the comment section. I want to see who's actually watching. Actively watching. It's not a very big crowd right now. The crowd's going to grow though. Like I said earlier, I had like 100, 200 people watching, which was nice. But what's going to happen with these sessions is that, I'm going to continue to do them. And they're going to get more popular because V and I are going to start talking to some people when, going on the podcast circuit and stuff. So this will grow. It's profitable for me because I'm trading. So I don't care. I don't mind just doing it. I don't care how many people are watching. Also got an affiliate program with Algo Factory. Still working on the mechanics of it as far as making sure the payouts happen, but I'll be giving away 50% of the commissions. So if you bring people on, especially if you're already like an affiliate marketer, Algo Factory costs $100 a month. So less taxes and fees, you're getting $50 a month for every person that you bring, every single month, as long as they stay. So if you bring 100 people, it's $5,000 every month, minus fees and all the other stuff that come along with that. So, it might be like 4,500 or 4,000, whatever it is. That's a pretty penny for not doing much, because we do the rest. You bring them, we do the rest. We pay you every month. Do it through Systemi.io. Systemi.io is the way we do that. So pretty respected platform. Okay, the price is making a decision right now. You can see by the way it's flip-flopping back and forth because the liquidity is dried up, and so now price gets to be pushed in a direction, right? So if price fails right here, this is where we're going to see the pullback. And it's pretty possible. It's pretty possible. Like a 40% chance of pulling back right now. Maybe less. 40 is good though. And as it pulls back, that chance increases. If price breaks below this consolidation, then you kind of have most of your answer right there. Anything can happen. It can go right back up, and you just can hit whatever. But what you're seeing here is a very this is a decrease in volatility, right? Most of your algos are pinging upward, right? Keep seeing the green tabs reappearing right here. They appear here, they appear there, and on the current candle it'll appear and reappear, but once the candle's closed, maybe candle 2 after that, it means it's like solid. So it wants to go up. It does. But just because it wants to, even if it goes up a little bit, you might expend all of this energy doing that. You just have to go down. CPI though, CPI can push things a little farther than they would normally otherwise go. Yeah, I have some music that I've already created, and while we're waiting for this, I'm going to start moving it from computer to computer. So just a moment here. All right, let's go. Here, attach, volumes, you say I'll be here, but I'm gonna stop the camera for a minute. Just move some things around. You know, let me keep this camera going, and I'm gonna actually do that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep an eye out on the chart for the pullback as it's happening. But I'm gonna get some music here. Files, send. Good. All right. Now let's see if I can open up a new thing here. Documents. Audio tracks. Let's delete that. Move to trash. And let's go here. All right, I want to, okay, save as. Play it. I want to save it. So save as. Let's go to documents. Tracks. Save that one. Save as. That's good. Save as. Good. Save as. Good. Now later on, I'm going to put these audio tracks together, but for now, I'm just going to add one of them. Add music. Documents. I'll do. Try this one here, see which one that is. Okay, let's play. Okay. You guys might recognize this from when I was running the live ones, like those live shows, where I would just run like the Algo live for a while, for days at a time. I made this music online, kind of add my own style, you know. Good. Let me know how the volume level is. I'm gonna turn it down, turn it up. Okay. All right, I shall return. Waiting on things to turn around. If they do, if they don't, whatever. I think it's gonna turn around though. I think this move up is fizzling out. No, I don't. Like I said, I don't want to take the short on this because that just doesn't work for me. But grabbing the long as it comes back down might be the way. But I do need a significant retracement. If I find that this like is not just not going to do it, then we'll end the show. But I'm going to be back in a few minutes, and we'll see what it's doing. All right, be back. Still taking its time, still refusing to ledge down. But the volatility is dying. That's for sure. Okay, let's see if it replays it or if I have to keep hitting play. Okay, I'll remove that. Okay, keeps playing. Let's play another song. Why not? Okay, we already know this. This is my Krong Wanabin. Stick with this for a little while. Yes, it is starting to fizzle down. Finally, maybe. All right, let's bring it. You can watch me eat here too. All right. Wife made some breakfast, as she does most mornings. Down. Oh yeah. Move the microphone so you don't hear me chew. It's pretty disgusting. There's a little break. Starting to push. We're also getting towards lunchtime. Volatility is going to drop off. So if what I'm seeing doesn't show any kind of force, then I'll just call it a day for scalping. Usually, what I'm finding is that if I start at about 6 a.m. EST, if there's no news, like tomorrow's a great day, which is like super early scalping. I'm usually in a meeting pretty early on those days, but I may or may not elect to do that on Wednesdays, or if I do it, I might not be on video. We'll see. But on days like Thursdays, will probably almost always not be super early scalping. I mean, maybe, because Thursdays always have unemployment data, but it's week over week unemployment data, so there might be some like early scalps to get, and then I just have to kind of tighten up the stops or not be in a trade when that happens, when the data comes out. Friday's okay for super early scalps if I can catch the tail end of the European session volatility crossing over New York. It just gets like super quiet. Yep, there it goes. Got a lower high on the 1 minute. It's going to start heading down, most likely. We'll see. I'm not seeing what I need to see for a complete pullback, but this is a pullback pattern. So, yeah, I mean, just from a price action standpoint, you have a move up, consolidation, you got a breakout, top side, and then you got a pullback down, and then a little lower high. That's a bearish retest. So if you get a bearish retest off of here, then it's going to head down. And what I mean by bearish retest off of here is that price has kind of bounced off here and it's heading down. So it's essentially what happened here. This is a little tiny bearish retest. So what we had here was a consolidation right here, little mini consolidation just up top, very, very small, right? I'll zoom in so y'all can see it. So the actual price action telling me that we're probably going to see down, because it is down now. We have this consolidation right here, little rejection up top, false breakout. See, back to the consolidation, breakout downside, retest, bottom consolidation right here, and heading down. Now it's just back into this, and it could rock back and forth in here for a while because now we're in a sort of different mode. But if price can eventually break below, we might see the same kind of story. So there's not any, I mean, there's a little bit of traffic right here, but there's no consolidation to speak of until like down here. And we had nothing but up this morning, right? May not be enough volatility to take price all the way down here, but the pattern we're looking for, and this is scalpable. You know, I need conditions to line up to scalp this. That'd be a nice move, but I need things to line up. Charts. As it stands right now, I don't see what I need to see, and I probably won't see what I need to see until the breakdown and then the reversion. I probably won't see what I need in the algos until like this. Like, I could probably take this, but I would need something like that. I need the price to head down deeper to pull the algos where they need to be. It's happening now. Sorry, it's broken down below. Sorry, it's now below. Let's see. So one could just like short this. Not the worst idea. It's, again, a little risky for me. I need certain things to happen. We're not quite. But, you know, it's takeable. It's takeable. do a small trade on this. Yeah, I need a bearish retest. Just not comfortable with this trade. I mean, it's perfectly good trade, you know, but I got rules. Baskerville, you got your pings here, saying to go long, and then you have a move down. It's pretty textbook. They also have history on divergence on the low time frame. This thing's probably going to just head down. But what I'd like to see, and I'm okay not taking this, what I'd like to see is this. For such a low volatility time, this right here, this is strong. There's not any runs like this to the downside, right? There should be it should not go straight down. I mean, I could have taken the breakout. I thought about it, but why? You know, if I can get a higher probability trade, put my money on it. Why play with pennies? Or why high risk pennies when you can low risk dollars? You know. It's already starting to flip back up. Give me the true test right here. But technically, I could have scalped this right here, but things were just not looking right for that. I mean, there's ways to do that, but it's just so high risk. Yeah, there's ways to risk that, but it's just... I mean, essentially, you're getting into a trade. You're locking in stop to entry really fast. And sometimes you lose because the stop to entry is not... It doesn't move in your direction fast enough, so you're already at a loss. Rather just hang back and wait. It's not as exciting for you guys, but I mean, what I said was going to happen is happening. It's like before your eyes. See it right here. See? I told you it was going to happen. So if this retest acts like it's supposed to, I'm good with taking the short. And so far, it looks like it's going to. But I do require certain things. We'll see how this goes. But so far, the short is takeable. Okay, I put my stop loss information in the chat already. So far, that still applies. So I'm going to ready the trade. I'm not in it. Getting there though. Have to be patient. I'm okay missing this trade. See? Patience. Yeah, at this point, we're going counter trend. With counter trend, you really want optimal conditions. Okay, price action wise, 1 minute, we got a hangman. Need a lower low, lower close. Possible stop modification. Let's see something here. There's enough bullishness on the other end of this trade to where I don't want to count on it just breaking down. See how it keeps fighting to break below this low? Building a nice case for a short, but gotta wait for the rules. See? Patience. We're getting right there, though. We're right there. This is why I didn't take the short. Told y'all, it's gonna come back up. There it is. Bearish retest. Bearish retest. Remember, I'm looking at the far left screen. Just watch the cursor. We're getting there. I want to see the bull's backs broken before I take a short. It requires a bearish retest, and it requires something in the algos that I don't care to explain to anybody besides the clients, the Algo Factory members. But we are looking at a possible nice swing down. And of course, this could reverse right back up. It could be the beginning of our next move up. But by that time, the day is going to be so far gone. I'm not going to be interested. Scalping will be over. This trade doesn't work out, guys and gals. That'll be it for today. Okay, so now that we've pretty much done what we need to do, we're looking for a reversal down. And it's got to be a solid reversal. But I'm pretty sure that if we get that reverse, yeah, see, here it is. The bulls are pushing. So if we can get a move back down, the bulls backs should be broken. Just got to have price hang out here for a bit before the counter closes. Let's flip the music a little bit. The same as this. Okay, I can delete this one then. I've already heard that one. Let's go with our Kirong one then. Charts freeze up on me. Or just no. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think, yep, there it is. All right. There it is. This candle can close, just lower than the prior. If this candle can close below there, we're good to go on the short. Some people would already be in the short. Yeah, this is a good short. Okay. We'll see. See if this gets gobbled up. I don't care if I miss a little profit. I want it to be proper. This is looking pretty good though. This is getting crushed. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Short is live. I mean, guys, I'm telling you what's happening before it's happening, right? I'm literally telling you what's going to happen before it happens. I'm going to see. This could go against me, but let me go to a different screen and look for my targets. This is my Krung Wannabe. The move stop to entry will be algorithmic. It might be price action, but most likely it will be algorithmic. So I'll tell the just if you're an Algo Factory, just watch chat. I'll explain it. Okay, I've got target. A little bit of resilience on the long. This is where the high time frame bullishness can be a problem. So it might turn back up on us, but conditions were met. So in the short, I am. Now, ideally, we have a situation where price can run into profit prior to my algorithmic signal to move stop to entry. Because otherwise, we're kind of stuck in a trade where we can lose, but it's a scalping, right? So what I do, especially on these high-risk trades, is not foolproof. So far, things are working out. Bit of a battle right here. You see, price wants to head down, but it keeps getting held up. The bulls want to keep price above this little support right here. See how it just keeps doing that. So, but we've already seen the breakdown bearish retest, right? So unless the bulls decide that they want to pick it up here, and they could, there's a little support here. There's a little traffic right there, but on the higher time frame, or at least on the 30-minute, it's showing as a decent risk. So we'll see what happens. You all know where the stop is. Stops are for. At the end, the conditions are still lined up. A little high risk, but we're not here to watch from the sidelines. Not all trades win. Conditions are met. Seeing a divergence that I don't like on the 1 minute though. A histogram divergence is going to push price up a little bit. Not a pretty thing for a short, but conditions are still lined up. See, no way to predict this is going to happen though. I mean, I did say the bullish on the 3 hours makes this a high risk no matter what, but this really is looking heavy. What we might end up seeing is a liquidity grab where they just fuck with people who went short like me, that's fine. Take another short. But it's looking liquidity grabby right now. We'll see if I chose a good stop or not. Let's see how that goes. So the conditions were met. Trade taken. Still in the trade. Not too far from the stop loss here, though. Could get stopped out. Yeah, right. Oh, no, my stop loss is a bit higher than that. Glad it shows that stop loss rather than the one I was thinking. But still, that's a nasty turnabout. A little lesson for you here. Couldn't see this coming, right? No way to see this coming, but I entered right here. Now, as price came back up, you have what's called a histogram divergence. And these are extremely powerful divergences, especially in this case to the top side, where the bulls' backs were broken. Price came down, histogram flipped green, and then flipped back down. Unfortunately, it flipped back up. So you ended up with an opposite signal, another basket bills. This is a very strong bullish histogram divergence, right? This is more than twice the amplitude of this. You gotta look at these as like little hills. You got a little hill here, and you got a little tiny hill right here. And that big hill is way more than twice that hill. So all you need is 2 times. So you got that divergence, and it's more than 2 times the amplitude. You get a strong move up. It happens a lot, and it's killing our trade. So far, we're still in it, but I think this trade will stop out unless we get really quite a bit lucky here. There's no way you can plan that out. It's a counter trend trade too. You know, I actually waited for conditions to be optimal, but we got murked. That's what happens. The trade will stop out right now. It will head down. I'm telling you, it's going to do another cycle up and then head down. Maybe I'll catch that. Didn't even have a chance for me to get stop entry. I mean, it's still going, but I think CPI is just murdering things right now still. For whatever reason, the whole world thinks that a 1-tick CPI is worth just betting everything on. So we're getting right near that stop loss. Let's see if it stops out. Still on the trade. It's right there though. I think it's gonna stop out for sure. Ooh, that was a nasty liquidity. Yeah, we're out of the trade. All right, that sucked. So, this was a liquidity grab. That was a lick grab for sure. So we might see, and I'm good for now on this. I need conditions to be a bit better for me to consider playing more. But that was a nasty beat. That was a stop run for sure. That's what that was. That's all that was. See, now it's going to head down. It went up just enough to take my trade out, and now it's going to head back down. That's part of the game. That's just market makers doing their thing. And they can do it because you still have relatively bullish high time frame. So now to wait for another short, I got to wait for the market no longer to be mixed. My condition for stop to entry never was met, so I wasn't able to. I was not able to protect my trade. I don't think it ever went in profit. If it did, it was just a little tiny bit of profit. And now the market is mixed, and it will be so for some time. Such is the game. Still ahead on today, though. 3 wins, 1 loss. We still made money today. Can't complain about that. Maybe one of those scalps was before I went live. This was the 5-minute reset I was looking for, though. But in order to continue to take advantage of it, I would still need other things to happen. There's a good chance that the next thing to do is long or short. It's just a question of how things shape up on the 5-minute now. As the volatility drops off, there's not going to be a lot of runs. I mean, that little move had some volatility, but very low time frame. Yep, there you go. There's a pop-up. You might be seeing a proceeding upwards. Like I said, I'm probably over the trading today. See what happens here. If I can just get a quick move in the right direction, maybe we'll hang on for one more scalp. But I'm trading since 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. my time, 5.5 hours. So I'm gonna do that. Started to reform up for long. The problem is structure. Quite there where I can take a trade. Really? If it keeps being super slow, just that looks too. I think we're gonna see a topside breakout. I'm just gonna break above. Go to a higher time frame here. We're going to see it break up above this zone and out to here. Next resistances will be there and there. I probably wouldn't mess with this until it was, well, actually, it's inside structure, not even really an issue until here. It's not a terrible place to go, no matter what. Just gotta let the algos line up. So we're right on the cusp of being able to take a long run. We get a pullback here on the low time frame. But this is going to continue up. I'll tell you that. Pretty confident it's going to continue up right now. Pretty risky. You know, a little more risky as you start to get longer in the tooth, but eventually there will be a pullback based on just things getting too hot in the 3-minute. That will happen. Bust out to the 4 panel here really quick. But, that 3-hour 3-minute was pretty cool. This is going to continue up. Basketballs, man. Alright, so shallow pullback. I'm going to go ahead and develop target logic. Conditions not yet met. just getting more and more risky now. That's what I don't like about this current move. I can't get a flip around where I need it to be. Yeah, just stop talking right now. This market's just starting to kind of fizzle out for the day. And the market has become a bit mixed, unfortunately. There needs to be a pretty good reset for me to start scalping again. And this market's a little long in the tooth. It's already past lunchtime, or getting into lunch in New York. So I think I'm gonna just call it. I mean, there might be opportunities if you sit and wait long enough, but most of your volatility is going to be the first, maybe in Forex on a weekday, you'll see some volatility prior to the open. Then you have the open, then you have 2 or 3 hours, and we're pretty well past the 3-hour mark now. Coming up on 3.5 hours. No, the volume's good, man. It's on you, as far as I can tell. You know, someone let's see if I can. Can people hear me? Samuel White popped on. What's going on? Say something if you can hear me. Somebody type something. I know there's not very many people on watching right now. So. I'm just going YouTube myself so I can hear myself. Let's see. Should be a problem though. Test. Yeah, I can hear me. It's something on your end, be good. I want to decrease the volume of the music though. The music's a little loud. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think we're done for today. I think the next trade to take might be a short, but it will want to pull and continue up. So we're definitely looking at like a mixed market. I think the scalping for the day is done, everybody. It's been fun. I'm gonna go ahead and check out here. Market's just really slowing down, and whatever move we saw from CPI is starting to fizzle. So once you get to low volatility, there's really no use playing the game. It's just kind of sometimes you get news in the middle of the day, and you get some volatility. And if you're really, really patient, you stick around, you can see some trades. But in the end, like right now, I think we're done seeing what there is to see. I think what may end up happening here, if you look at like the 30-minute, is you might just get a pullback. I mean, there was a little one, but I think that this move is going to get tired, and you might get just a little pullback. It's either going to continue up. It may just continue up because it could. I think you're going to get a pullback to about here and then a move up. So shorting in this environment we just saw is probably not a good idea because of CPI and the 3-hour being so bullish. So I would look for the 3-hour pullback or 30-minute pullback on the 30-minute time frame. Just a nice pullback for a few hours. Might not, it's either that or it's going to continue to break out upwards, and you'll have other signals. But for the moment, market's mixed and it's not really moving. It's going to have to consolidate for a bit. I'm good. I got 3 wins, 1 loss, so I'm ahead for the day. Happy with that. All right, everybody. Yeah, and as far as Algo Factory is concerned, it was 2 wins and 1 loss. So it's good. 2 out of 3. Can't complain. And both of them, or all 3 were above 1-to-1. At least the 2s were better than were 1-to-1 or better. So ahead for the day. So thank you all for watching. You'll see more of this. It might not be every single day, but it's going to be. I need to trade most days. If it's a day or there's like a bunch of news or CPI or some bullshit like FOMC's at noon, like okay, day off, right? Like if there's a lot of news that's coming not like before the open or not at the open, if there's big news halfway through the day, then I'm just good to go. I don't need to trade on a day like that. But other than that, we'll be scalping away. Hopefully more people are happy with it, and see what happens. Thank you all for watching.